And he was born, about last August, not this past August, of course. And he was a beautiful boy. I just want everyone to know that he was a really good boy, and he was beautiful, and he was perfect in every way possible, because he saved us, right? Because the last couple years have been really, really ugly, and a lot of hate out there, and a lot of all the things, and the death. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us have had death. Anybody? I've had death. My dad died last year, and the last time I saw my Bearsy, it was this picture right here. This picture right here. This is the last time I saw my Bearsy, right there. And after that, I learned that my favorite uncle died, and so we've all experienced death and loss, and he was something that was truly, truly good and loving. And all I want to say is I just want to thank every single person who loved Bearsy, because he saved me and my husband a million times, really. Him and his sister, my Kona, his sister niece, the dog world, you get it. You get the pedigree shit, I'm apologizing. But I just want to thank everyone who loved Bearsy, and the personal trainer I had there was Ashlyn, and sweetheart, it was so comforting in this horrific thing to know that he was loved, because I saw him, and she made him a man. Not in any vulgar way. Oh, that sounded so wrong. But you get my, so he was perfect. But when Kona, his sister, went into heat, that's a no-go. And so he was going out of his mind, and, and of course she was too, and we needed to find a place. But Ashlyn was wonderful. He was, because of that experience, he was skittish, of course. And, but she and everybody I ever saw there loved our dogs. And so don't question yourself if you did the wrong thing, because they loved, I saw my Bearsy, and I saw his confidence levels. I saw all the things. I just want everyone to know that he was loved from the moment that he came into our lives. And I know, we were rehomed. We weren't looking for this pedigree, and all the circumstances, yada, yada. The point is that he was perfect, and he was loved every moment. And I just want to thank, Ashlyn and Maddie, and just Amy, who called me. My heart just died when I'd already heard it from my wonderful, wonderful friend Jonathan, who had recommended, because he had kept his babies here. So don't doubt yourselves. There's thousands of us, and they were loved, and that's what I cling to. And then the other thing I just want to tell you that was lovely, and I'm sorry, because I know there's 59 families, and I think I've taken way more than the time that I should have, and I'm apologizing again. Okay. Kind of threw me.
Break the tension.
Gosh, I had a major point. What was it, Conabona?
59 families. 59.
And I was talky. I just wanted to share that what was bizarre, this was the most out-of-body experience I've ever had in my life, of like that weird thing where you're just screaming into the phone. When my friend told me about it, and I was screaming and screaming and screaming, and he was screaming. I mean, he was just sitting there like a man. I know a real man can be whatever, but he was a real man, just sitting there and taking my pain as I was telling him how much I loved him, and trying to fathom how this could happen. But the gift that Jonathan Tanzer gave me that day was that when Amy called me later in the day, he'd given me this break of processing or something that was a huge gift. And it really did take a man to step up and tell, I'm his boss, right? And it took a real man to step up and do that. And but it saved. When Amy called me, I could say, the minute she said, "This is Amy from Ponderosa," and I could just hear her voice breaking. When I heard her voice breaking, I could just say immediately, "Sweetie, stop, stop. It's okay, you don't have to say another word, okay? I'm so sorry for what you're going through," because she had to break it to a lot of people. 59 families is a lot of people to notify, and I heard the pain and the anguish of these young people that are like my grown children's age, and I can't imagine what they went through. And then she had to break it to families. And you know, you're in so much shock and awe and all the things. And then you just go, wow, all these pieces of my shattered heart. I just found one where I found this person that I really wish wasn't feeling this anguish. And that's what I found throughout this thing, which is amazing to me, is that humans are better than I thought they were, you know? They're better. All the loving acts of kindnesses. My physician's assistant came in and said, "I saw what was in the news," because I made, of course, an appointment right away because I knew I needed help. And "I'll be right with you, baby. I'll be right there. I'm almost done. I know this is the craziest thing. Mother never even talks in front of the other people ever. This is new. We're okay." But she just said, and I just want to give Lauren, my physician's assistant, just a big thank you, because I have never imagined anyone in my life handling any situation in such grace and love. And I'm just going to ask you to take Lauren Hodgkins. I wanted you to take her cue. I mean, I want to take it and live by it. She came in the office and said, "I was beside myself last night when I heard about it." "I'll be right with you, baby." "I was beside myself, and I saw you on my calendar. I couldn't look at it, and I saw you on my calendar, and I had to read it because I love my dogs." And then she said, this is very important, folks, because the Monday morning quarterbacking is about sports. Could we please keep it about sports? Because damn it, I don't need to hear it right away. Give me a chance to grieve. It's not about grief. Anyway, the point is that she said her little thing about, she acknowledged it was difficult conversation. And then she said, "Tell me about Bear. Tell me about Bear." And she listened to me sob about Bearsy. This is Bearsy. Okay? And she listened to me sob. So be self-compassionate and listen to people and just be kind for a little while. We're all angry. We have a million emotions. It's totally normal. It's grief. And it's grief combined with trauma. And it's intense and it's horrible, and it's in your body and your mind don't work at all together, okay? It's crazy grief. And I'm done. Thank you so much.
No, okay.
And I thank you for that cue, and I thank you for that cue. And I thank you for your kindness, and I went off, and I apologize.
Okay.
I'm
That's
apologizing.
Okay. Oh, that's okay.
Thank you. Oh, you need to... I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I hope you feel better. We got it.
You're gonna be in for an adventure. So, there's probably about 5 stories I'd like to say, but I'm gonna go with the one. I live close to like an auto parts store. I had to go there, leave my truck there. I walked back. As I'm walking back in my neighborhood, going down the sidewalk, there's Lily coming towards me. Exactly. She had really bad separation anxiety, and I'm assuming that's why she was brought back to the shelter. And she had gone through, that was her, I believe, her second door. She had destroyed it. So she definitely took me through a lot of adventures, a lot of door frames. She liked to chew cables. So she cost me a lot, but you know what? I kept her, and I gave her the best 5 years that she could have asked for. And I want to thank everybody for being here to support us for our loss. Thank you. To Lily! Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so this is Mila. She wanted to say something about Sunny. We lost Sunny and Lola. Sunny and Lola this weekend, and they were 1-year-old border collies. They were gifts for Mila and my other daughter Marley for their birthdays. What do you want to say? So Lola, she wanted to say Lola liked to jump around, and she jumped around like a deer. She could jump really high. And what about Sunny? And Sunny was a little crazy at times, but she was fun. And she, one of her things that she would do is she and so we got both of them right about the same time. There was a 45-day difference between the two border collies, and they were just so smart. But their personalities couldn't be more different. And Lola was very calm, and it's a very calming presence. And she would come up like she was going to lick you, but she would stop and just gently touch you with her nose to kiss you. And yeah, we had another border collie, Kylie, for 18 years. And it was very hard when she passed, and it took us some time, and we decided last year it was time, and we got money for or had reserved Lola, and we didn't know when Lola was going to be born. I just knew the breeder that we wanted to get Lola from, and so much time had passed, and my mom had called me and she said, "I'm going to look at border collies, you want to come?" And I said, "Sure." So I went and picked out Sunny, who ended up being Mila's dog. And about a week later, the lady's name is Gail. She called me. Gail said, "Well, we got puppies. They're on their way." So we didn't realize we were going to have 2 border collies, but we ended up with 2. It ended up being a blessing, and we loved them, and they brought so much joy and happiness to our lives. So thank y'all for everybody for being here.
This is Maverick. So we're a Sheltie family, and we had a Sheltie getting a little bit older. And so I'm sitting at home one day, and this little butterball shows up in my lap. My daughter brings him in and says, "Dad, we need another Sheltie." So lo and behold, we get another Sheltie about 7 years ago. So I took that and saying, okay, you guys are giving me the dog, I get to name him. Because all the other Shelties had names that were flowery or this and that and the other. So I said, no. This dog, and I watched him for about a week, and I said, that dog is Maverick. And he had been a Maverick just his entire life. One of the other folks said they had a border collie, and we laughed because my son had a big border collie, and Maverick would go over and the border would be laid down, and Maverick would bite his ears and bite his paws, and run up and down and over, and that old border collie would lay there, and Maverick was just a total pain. And finally that big border would just put his big paw out and trap old Maverick on the ground, just, you know, roll him over. So Maverick had a great life growing up. He had all sorts of dog friends, dog mothers and sisters in the family. And we could always tell there's something special about him because he was very bullheaded, so the Maverick name was the right one. So I'd walk through the house and Maverick would bring his toys up and hit me with them, and hit me with them, and hit me with them, and hit me with them. And finally I'd bend down and said, all right, we're playing whatever game you want to play. So it'd be tug of war, and he'd be going back and forth or chase the ball or whatever, and my arm would get tired, and then I'd switch arms, my other arm would get tired. So I'd sit down. Sure enough, here's Maverick about 10 minutes later, sticking his nose up my shorts with his toy again, you know, hitting me. Just, come on, Dad, let's go. So we've done that for 7 years, and just great dog. And one story, and this is one my wife thinks is hilarious. So we find a new vet, and Maverick was pretty good sized Sheltie. I mean, about 40 pounds. So I'm taking Maverick into this new vet, and this vet puts him on this scale and checks him out. She goes, sir, this dog is fat. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. This dog is husky. This is a husky. So we go back and forth and back and forth. He says, no, sir, dog is not husky. And so I kind of swallow my pride and, you know, go through the exam. As we're walking out and telling my wife, I said, honey, we're getting a new vet tomorrow. There's nobody telling me my dog is fat. That's fighting words. So we've been at loyal Ponderosa customers, and we were heading out of town. So of course our last stop was there, and dropped Mazzy off about a week ago and changed. That was the last time I saw him.
So sorry.
Our dog was named Gracie. She was 19 months old. She was the 5th Weimaraner we've had. By far the nicest, kindest. She put up with me, but she adored Deborah. We're going to miss her. And I've got to admit that since the first 4 were males and she was a female, they're definitely smarter.
We're going to miss her a lot, and we want to thank everybody for their support here.
Anybody else have any stories for us?
I don't usually do this.
You know what?
It's okay.
It feels right, you know?
This is our dog Sammy. And my husband was in the Army. And we had a kid born in Germany, moved to Fort Lewis, we had a kid born in Washington, we moved to Fort Hood, we had a kid born in Fort Hood. We moved to Port Carson, and I was like, we're getting a dog. So I looked all over, I was trying to find like what kind of dog. So we rescued Sammy. He is a cockapoo, and we had him for just over 12 years. And he was a huge part of our family. He was perfectly happy if we were all sitting on the couch and he was on top of us. He followed the kids around, they dressed him up, they pushed him in strollers, they made him costumes. He never had an accident, he never tore anything up, he was like the perfect dog, and he didn't shed. So he was a huge part of our lives. He would take us food, and he'd take 3 little pieces of food and bring it out to the living room, and then eat each piece of food individually, and go back and get 3 more. And he was just, it's going to be a huge loss. We were chaperoning for the Georgetown high school band this weekend, and we hadn't left them in a long time, and so since we were volunteering, it was right down the street. We dropped them off there so that we could pick them up, and we saw it was just hard. So that's my Sammy.
Thank you again, everybody, for coming out. We want you to know we love y'all, we support y'all. We're here, whatever we can do to help, even if it's just to sit in silence and listen.
And we can wait for someone else to talk if y'all need time.
Yeah, we'll be here if everybody just wants to chit chat. There's waters in the cooler if anybody wants the water.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-oh, that gal lost her thing.
What is that?
That gal lost her. Where is she? Is this yours?
No.
Oh, yes, the news lady. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, you.